Looking at buildings in different cities like Singapore, New Delhi, New York, and Hong Kong, you might notice something important. In these places, air conditioning is not just a luxury. It's often necessary for comfort and even safety. But here's the problem. Air conditioning uses a lot of energy. In fact, it accounts for about 10% of all the electricity we use globally. And that's bad news for climate change. So, what can we do about it? Well, there are some solutions out there, both old and new, that don't require tons of energy. Let's take a closer look. It all started back in 1902 in New York City, where an engineer named Willis Carrier invented the modern air conditioner. Since then, air conditioning has become a staple in many homes and businesses, especially in places like the US where almost everyone has one. But as countries like India start to use more air conditioners, we need to find more sustainable ways to cool our buildings. One solution is to make our cities cooler overall. Cities can get really hot because of something called the urban heat island effect, where all the concrete and asphalt absorbs and holds onto heat. Planting more trees and creating green spaces can help reduce this effect and make cities more comfortable for everyone. Another solution is to design buildings that stay cooler without relying so much on air conditioning. Traditional architecture in places like Iran and India has used techniques like wind towers and white-painted roofs for centuries to keep buildings cool. Modern buildings can learn from these techniques to use less energy for cooling. But what about existing buildings that aren't built this way? Well, we can make air conditioners themselves more efficient. Right now, many air conditioners waste a lot of energy trying to remove humidity from the air. New technologies could make air conditioners smarter and more efficient, using less energy and still keeping us comfortable. And finally, we can think big and cool entire neighborhood, or even cities with district cooling systems. These systems use one big plant to cool lots of buildings, which can be much more efficient than having each building run its own air conditioner. So, there are lots of ways we can tackle the problem of cooling our buildings without making climate change worse. It's going to take some work, but it's definitely possible. And in the end, we'll have cooler, more comfortable buildings that don't harm the planet.